it's hard to do something about Ann Coulter because she's so, that's inspired by Ann Coulter because she's so uninspired. Like positively anyway. But I did do something, and this story does feature actual real quotes from Ann Coulter, so please enjoy. In the middle of the block on Seabreeze Avenue in Palm Beach, Florida, there once lived a middle-aged witch named Anne. She also has a New York condo and an LA apartment, but this is where she told people that she voted. So, like most witches, Anne had a hard time getting along with what she called the liberal yuppies. She was wary of hearing the views on things like equal rights for anyone who wasn't a straight white person who already agreed with her. She had grown tired of living in a world that provided all people the right to vote for the person they feel would be best for their country. She once grumbled to a New York newspaper that America would be better off if women just didn't have the right to vote. If we took away women's rights to vote, she proclaimed, we'd never have to worry about another Democrat president. She continued cackling. It's kind of a pipe dream. It's a personal fantasy of mine. And it's a good way of making a point that women are voting so stupidly. At least single women. She actually said that. Bravely, she continued to spout the same dream for years to come, stating that single women are voting for the government to act as their husbands. One night, after a particularly rough evening of being roasted by a bunch of professional comedians, a football player, and the musician Jewel, she had it with this world full of retards. Her words. Being a witch, she decided to cast a spell on the entire country, and that it would alter to suit her personal fantasy. Realizing she kept her spell book at her West Coast apartment, she caught a quick first-class flight to Los Angeles. After arriving safely, she found the perfect spell that would alter space and time. In every presidential election since 1950, except Goldwater in '64, the Republican would have won if only men had voted. She decided to reach into the past and repeal the 19th Amendment. She brewed the special brew and said the magic words, Stanton Oblitus.
Oh.
A burst of red light and smoke emerged from her cauldron and spread across the 101, quickly passing over the city, country, and the world in an instant. Excitedly, after the dust had settled, she turned on the TV to see what this new world was like. And I know this is the part of the story where you think that she realized the error of her ways with this world that she had created. And she saw a terrible world before her, but you're wrong. She saw her dream world, with Republicans constantly being reelected exclusively by men. The USA had become everything she had hoped it would be. It was small government. It was anti-choice. It was anti-LGBT. Beyond personal freedoms, it was anti-immigration. It was anti-socialized health care. It was pro-capitalist punishment. It was pro-mass incarceration. It awarded tax cuts to the very wealthy and taxed the poor. It demonized all those who require food stamps and welfare to get by. It was militaristic, it was warmongering, and in Anne's eyes, her sweet land of liberty. Filled with glee, she turned off the TV and began to walk around her apartment. But soon she noticed it was not quite the same apartment it had been pre-19. The apartment in which she lived in this world looked modest. Apparently, the attorney job she had applied for went mostly to men, and since there was no need to even try to come close to a man's salary, she was paid minimally. The 11 books that she had written, all about how liberalism sucked, were gone. She did write one manuscript that she found gathering dust on her desk called, "Seriously, bitches, isn't this a great world that we live in?" she had never found a publisher. She made no appearances on TV shows. She had not been profiled in any publications. It was at this point that she realized the error of her ways. Although she lived in a utopia where so many people were miserable, a reality that truly made her happy, she also realized she would be miserable too. No one cared about what she thought. Since she had nothing to complain about, no one, not even her peers, listened to her. She was no longer the center of any attention, and it drove her mad. She hurriedly brewed the antidote and said the magic word, "Oblitus, Stanton Oblitus!" And a burst of light and blue and smoke emerged, this time colored blue, and it spread across the world, and soon she was back in the universe that she had been familiar with. She ran out of her apartment and out to the sidewalk. Billboards for movies, TV shows, STD checks, and yes, liberal programming lit up the night. From a passing car, a motorist yelled, "Go to hell, Coulter!" as she threw a half-eaten cheeseburger at Anne's face, hitting her smack dab in the forehead. As Anne looked down at the trash and looked up, a single tear streaming down her face. She smiled. People hated her, but they knew who she was. And she was so happy.